Hey, Andy here from buildahottub.com. If you're considering a saltwater system for your pool or your hot tub, then this video is for you. I'm going to look at the pros and cons of saltwater in hot tubs and pools. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so saltwater for your pool or hot tub. If you're considering it, then you're probably looking for something that is less maintenance, something that is hassle-free, something that is maybe kinder to your skin. However, there are some pros and some cons to saltwater systems, and in this video I'm going to try and explore all of them. Now, before we get going, always a great opportunity to say please do subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification icon to be notified when my videos go live. I put 2 long-form videos out every single week and a whole bunch of shorts, so there's loads of information on my channel about building hot tubs, building plunge pools, air source heat pumps, and pretty much everything in between. Okay, so saltwater systems are an alternative sanitizing system to the likes of chlorine or bromine, which are obviously, chemical based. So looking at a saltwater system can mean converting your pool or your hot tub into a chemical free area. However, there are definitely some pros and cons to saltwater systems, so let's dive in and take a look. Okay, so how do salt systems work? Well, firstly, you're going to need a salt cell. This is a piece of plumbing equipment that sits in line in your filtration and your heating plumbing system. Secondly, you're going to need a power source for said salt cell. And thirdly, you're going to need some water in your pool or your tub, and you're going to need some salt in there as well. So when the salt dissolves into the water and then the water is moved round your plumbing system and it's moved through the salt cell, when electrical current is applied to that salt cell, the process of electrolysis creates hypochlorous acid. Hypochlorous acid is basically natural chlorine, and then through that process of electrolysis, it is then dissolved into the water and it kills everything and keeps your water nice and disease and bacteria free. So very simple explanation of the process. So if you're an expert in this and I've got this wrong, hit me up in the comments and let me know. Always happy to be wrong and corrected on these videos. So it sounds pretty simple that you're basically dumping some salt in your pool or your hot tub and you're turning on your salt cell and then you're creating chlorine. However, there are a few things that you've got to consider. Firstly, this isn't a maintenance-free setup. There is still regular maintenance that you're going to have to do. And by maintenance in this section, I mean water maintenance. So you're still going to have to monitor your pH levels. You're still going to have to monitor your total alkalinity levels. They are important because they impact how well the chlorine or the chlorine that you're generating, I should say, is actually working as a sanitizer. So it's not just a case of, throw some salt in and forget about it. There are things that you still need to do to keep that water nice and healthy. Now, saltwater systems are definitely more expensive up front. So whilst it's cheaper to buy bags of salt than it is to buy bags of chemicals, the upfront cost of saltwater systems are definitely more expensive than the chemical equivalent. Now, I think I've already mentioned in the video that saltwater is a lot kinder to your skin. So if you do have sensitive skin and you do have reactions to chemical chlorine and bromine, for example, then salt water is a good alternative. Now, I've already mentioned that just dumping a bag of salt in and forgetting about things isn't really the case with a saltwater pool or a hot tub. Now, if you have too much salt, then this is also a problem. Too much salt is highly corrosive to anything that is metallic inside of your pool. Now, I'm going to do a shout out on this video to pool builder Lee. Lee, you know who you are. You like to comment on my videos and you've been a follower on the channel for a long time. Now, Lee mentioned in a previous video that he commented on about a sacrificial anode, and he was installing these with his salt systems on the pools that he builds. So what's a sacrificial anode? Well, it sounds really complicated, but basically it's a more reactive metal that has a higher electrical charge that attracts all of the corrosion so that it's the anode itself that is corroding rather than the ladder into your pool or the light fittings or your jet fittings. So these sacrificial anodes, they're pretty straightforward to fit. Again, you fit them in line with your plumbing, and then you're going to connect it to the bonding wire that will be around your pool or your hot tub. In doing that, you're then protecting anything that is metallic that is in that tub. Now, you do need to replace these every so often. How long really depends on how much salt and how corrosive your water actually is. But as soon as they're usually made of zinc, those zinc sacrificial anodes are fully corroded, then your water is going to attack your metal fixtures. So it's just something to think about, that whilst it may seem that you will have a system that is less maintenance, you may end up with actually more maintenance, because firstly, you've still got to do some of your chemical, we'll call them chemical duties, in balancing your pH and your total alkalinity, but also you're going to have to be replacing those sacrificial anodes if you put them in. If not, you're going to be replacing your metallic fittings and elements in your pool on a much more regular basis than you would if you were using more traditional forms of chlorine or bromine. What's an alternative? Well, I'm not going to dive too much into this, but I will say that UVC is a great alternative to saltwater systems. I'll put a link to my video and blog post underneath this video. As always, I hope you found this video useful. I appreciate the watch, and I will see you on the next video. If you've liked this video, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.